We were delayed due to weather, not extreme weather, normal weather. Weather changes. Get over it.
That's a hard line, Dan. It's a hard line to take.
LAX was enshrouded by a mystical fog, and John Carpenter pirates were creeping around with maggots coming out of their eye sockets, lashing at anyone who wandered too far from the cement. But it's totally normal. And our flight was delayed a couple times, and so I was in the new United Lounge. I had to buy a ticket for $60. I read I retweeted a infographic that showed you what if the world was 100 people. Hey, Spencer, how are you doing?
Hey, guys.
I always forget to involve you.
What if the world was 100 people?
If the world was 100 people, according to this infographic, one of the people, 1% of the population of the United States, spends over $90 a day. And I'm like, so I've been like monitoring I'm like, but I'm done with that before I get out of bed. I pay a publicist $3,000 a month to keep me out of TMZ. Like, I'm sure the joke's on me. I'm sure TMZ doesn't want to write anything about me. But I can't know that unless I stop giving these people $3,000 a month. That's more than $90 a day right there. Forget where I get my croissant.
Sure, yeah.
But I pay...
Also, forget the money you pay to learn how to pronounce croissant.
Steve Martin, you son of a bitch. I paid $60 to get into this lounge, which looked like an Apple store with melon slices. And there was a young lady. She was sitting a few counters away from me. There was a sea of tables, and they all had the little AC outlets on them. She had her laptop. She was like kind of a Rachel Maddow, but blonde. Like she was statuesque and had a long neck, and she had a Bluetooth in, and she was tapping the laptop, and she was speaking very loudly about what she was doing. She was saying, that's not what I want. What I want is this, and I think it should be this and that. And I was like, she was loud, but I noted it, but I didn't have to sit near her. And she was in a sea of Brazil, as in the movie, the Terry Gilliam movie. Like she was in this like Brazilian-esque sea of like things. It wasn't like a private area, you know? It wasn't like there wasn't a fireplace raging next to her. There wasn't like a St. Bernard like waiting to save anybody from anything with hot cocoa.
There wasn't?
No.
Oh.
So I tuned her out.
Because most airport lounges provide
I'm confused now.
But I thought it was really weird because there was a lady that came by who was like vacuuming and picking things up. And I always write race-neutral characters, but this woman was black, and I felt like it was important because she was like in her 70s, I felt, and she was African-American, and she as she was picking things up, she leaned over to me into my Minecraft game, and she went, "How come you haven't told that woman to pipe it down?"
Whoa!
Which activated this weird Tim Allen like instinct in me where I was like, I just wanted her to like me, so I was like, "Hey, I've learned to tune out worse than that." And she's like, I got it. I'm like, what am I talking about?
No.
What am I, Fred Flintstone? I don't know. I was just playing.
It sounds like you're in Act 2 of Get Out.
Well, don't spoil that shit. I have to see it.
Fucking movies.
Also, tell me nothing about season 1 of Atlanta. Like, please.
I like how you had a genuine communication with a real human being, and your first instinct was, what the fuck is going on?
Well, because I'm observing myself. I'm going like, why was I? She was saying, there's a person that works for the airport saying, why haven't you, fellow consumer, told her to shut the fuck up? And my response was neither. Because, madam, she has a right to be a human. Like, nor was it like, you're right, chomp, 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 shut up, madam. Nor was it, you tell her.
No, it was the right option.
I took the path of least resistance through. Plato could have predicted my path.
Right.
Fucking steam shooting through the only opening available that turned me into a weird 80s comic. Like lamenting my, oh, the old ball and chain. Like I made up a fictional stepmom at home. I'm like, well, I tune out worse than that.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
You're just being nice to a person who said something
to you. I just don't want the person that's talking to me to beat me up.
Right.
That person I don't want to beat me up. No, everybody, I was tuning her out. I did everything. So then that woman, she walked away. I was like, fucking nailed it with her.
Yeah,
she loves me. She
great.
loves me. She loved me. She's like, I hear that. I vacuum, pick. And so I'm like, fucking nailed it today. I made someone like me. So then and then moments after that, this old guy walks up, and because I've done non-race neutral casting, I'll tell you, this is it's kind of like a 90-year-old Michael Chiklis, like walks up to this woman. It's like couldn't be 30 seconds later, and this like 7 foot tall, like Rachel Maddow giraffe woman on her laptop is just going on. I think she's just in a zone. She's just explaining what spreadsheets work and which don't. And this guy just goes like, and he goes, "Excuse me, do you mind keeping it down?" And this woman's like fucking flips out. Flips out like she had no idea. She wasn't like blah blah blah, I don't care about anybody. It was more like blah blah blah, I haven't thought about anybody. There's a difference, you know.
She didn't realize that she was being disruptive. Or
when you're on a phone, that's the thing. And there's also like a heightened, I don't know. Sometimes when you see someone on a phone, you I don't know. We get a hair trigger. If that person didn't have a phone in their hand and they were just talking to their friend that loudly, when would you go over to them and be all high-handed about it? We got a license when cell phones were invented to start getting real fucking dicky, and and it's justifiable because I'm not, no heroes, no villains. Just nobody beat me up. That's the point of my story. Nobody beat me up. This guy goes "You want to get off my lawn and you're gonna shake my cane. Moonlight shouldn't have won a La La Land." I couldn't hear what he said, but he was just kind of and Rachel Maddow woman went. She fucking I was watching peripherally because I'm not gonna turn my head because someone will beat me up. But I was just she was "Excuse, oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Stacy, stop. Wait, no, I'm sorry. And the guy was "It's just rude. It's just rude to see what." And she's "No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Her voice was cracking. And she packed up her shit, put her laptop in her bag, put her bag in her wheelie, put her wheelie into transformer mode, took her fucking overcoat, tucked into the London fog and phased out. She went to a different lounge at a different airport, may have hung herself. I don't know. She wasn't doing anything that wrong.
Would 90-year-old Michael Chiklis have walked up to a guy and done that? I think the answer is absolutely not. I think he felt empowered to walk up to a woman and say, "You're being loud." That's male privilege bullshit. That is the tennis net. That's the tennis court net that some balls hit it and go straight up. That guy, the answer maybe he would have done it twice as fast. If he saw another old bald white guy doing that, he wouldn't have fucking done it. He wouldn't have walked up.
Every airport lounge has 2 old guys doing exactly that.
Well, more importantly, that's how old guys talk without a phone.
Right? Yeah.
Do you remember the Depression? I can't hear anything.
You know what they call that?
Their life is their phone.
You know what they call that? They call it Harmontown. Old white guys yelling.
I don't know. I've been in restaurants where I've been annoyed by people on the phone. I've been in restaurants where I've seen someone on the phone, and then the person that's more annoyed by the person on the phone, I'm more annoyed by them. That they're taking more attention. It's the person is technically on the phone. It's not really a license for you to vent your antipathy, your fucking inhumanity. I don't know what my point is. No, I had no point. It's just a little story. I'm just a journalist.
I had a good moment in an airport lounge. I went and I was flying to Vancouver, and I was up in the Air Canada lounge at LAX, and I sat down to plug in my phone, and there was a guy with his, I would assume, girlfriend, and talking at the top of his lungs about nothing. So I was this motherfucker, he's never going to stop talking. So I unplugged and I went somewhere else. And there was another guy, he was Australian, which is worse. Because when a loud rich guy is Australian, I think, you want to say me, yummy. I was making a movie, right? In fact, if you want to fancy more sound, yeah, come on, I fucking mucky talkie. And I was I'm gonna fucking blow my brains out.
The views of this podcast do not reflect. That is a huge continent that will be radiation safe in the event of a nuclear war.
Dan, we were there.
I love them.
We were there.
They have lots of lumber and gas and water.
We know them. We love them. But they all know what the rich guy sounds like. And every country knows what the rich white guy sounds like. And that, there's a particular Australian rich white guy thing that happens. And while that was happening, I was like, this fuck. Now there's nowhere to go. Now I'm a prisoner because I found the only other place where I don't have to hear that guy. And this guy would not stop talking about himself. And right in the middle of my sadness, Sarah Silverman walks up and sits down right by. She says, "Hey, Jeff." And she started telling me stories about her and Tom Cruise together. And that guy had to hear her Tom Cruise stories. And he shut right the fuck up. I was like, yeah, motherfucker, we have better stories over here. We're funny people.
We're not yelling them because we go on TV and talk about them. We have an antenna.
Sarah told better stories than this guy, and it made me very happy. And then we killed him.
My therapist has taught me. So here's the thing I've learned that's like been very, very powerful to me. In moments when people want an apology from me, which I used to interpret as them trying to leverage me, they're manipulating me, what's going to exchange here, is this an apology window? I can still feel all of that. Like, I could still look at somebody and go, oh, you're a vampire, you're a piece of shit. Like, you're just trying to suck energy out of my body. But my therapist explained to me, she said, Dan, you are vigilant against abuse. You cannot handle somebody accusing you of abuse. You can handle people telling you that you hurt them. If you went like this and you felt like a soft splat as you were reaching for your backpack and you turned and looked and someone's nose was bleeding, you would not be offended by that person's claim that you had hurt them. You would stop at nothing to make it up to them. If that person started to imply as you apologized that you had done it on purpose, or that you had done it because you weren't a good person, that you had made a choice earlier that day to ignore their needs and things like that, you'd start to get triggered. You'd start to get defensive. There's an irony that happens there every day in every bar. Somebody hurts somebody, and then someone feels bad about it, and then someone is like, oh, I feel bad about this, and I feel so bad about it because it seems like you don't fucking give a shit about me. And then the other person is like, how dare you accuse me of being the kind of person that doesn't give a shit about anyone, you fucking lesbian!
That took a weird turn.
It always takes a weird turn. It's like, that is the thing. And it's like, like what I am just slowly starting to realize is that people saying that you hurt them, they're not saying you abused them. They're saying they got hurt. And it doesn't matter what they say beyond that. They can put all the frosting they want on it because they're coming from wherever they're coming from. They can't make you an abuser. They can say that they're hurt. And everyone can apologize for hurting people. And everybody should be vigilant against admitting they're an abuser. Because if you're not a fucking abuser, that's an important thing. There are a couple people among us who fucking love abusing people. Like, we should definitely separate from them. And so the way, it's like, I'm just noticing in these daily exchanges, like, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm trying to take a step back and going like, okay, wait, you're hurt. I hurt you. I did not abuse you. I'm not an abuser. I'm a herder. I hurt you.
Have you... Well, we all have, and I'm assuming you have too. Like, what if you did abuse somebody? Like then what?
I do it all the time. That abuse is like self-pity and like things like that. Like, I'm mean to Cody. Like, look at the text and go like, oh, I'm trying to do something here that has nothing to do with her well-being and everything to do with mine. Like, I'm actually hurting her, on purpose.
Willfully, which is abuse.
Yeah. And that's like, so we need to recognize when we're doing that so that we can apologize when we accidentally hurt people, because that shouldn't be that big a deal. There's 8 billion of us walking around. We're going to step on each other's feet.
I think for you, though, I mean, not just for you, but for you especially, because you have the ability to seem abusive when you're not being abusive.
Thank you.
Weird thing to love. But like you are so good verbally. I've seen you lay people out with a a quip, with a line.
Because they're accusing me of abusing them.
Well,
and I need them to know that they're a piece of fucking shit.
Right. But the problem is you're really good at that.
Thank you. And that's what I'm saying.
You're the Robin Hood in terms of archery, of hitting the bullseye when someone goes, "Hey, fuck off, buddy," and you just shoot an arrow right into their heart.
Yeah, if you imply that I hurt you on purpose, I will strangle you to death. I will wrap my hands around your neck until you're dead, and you can't say it ever again.
Your gifts are your curses. You're a good writer, and so you're also really good at hurting people's feelings.
Thank you.
Stop saying thank you to that. Say oops.
No, but I'm being glib, but what I'm saying is yes, because what
But you love it, because you feel a reward.
Well, I'm learning about that in therapy. What happens is, being yourself, following your own bliss, like, you can sometimes be hurtful to people. That is not the same crime as being abusive to someone. We all commit both of those crimes. Hurtfulness often comes with thoughtlessness, carelessness.
Yeah.
You weren't thinking about me when you changed lanes on the freeway. Like, it's different than you thinking you're entitled to just drive however you want. Like, there's shades of abuse there where you're just like, fuck everyone on the freeway. Like everyone... When we get down in fights, when we start arguing with each other, those rare moments when we're actually able to connect with each other and we find out truly what everyone is always saying the whole time, which is, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean it that way. That's not how I meant it. That always turns everything around.
Well, the problem that you face is that when you react and you accidentally fling an elbow verbally and hurt somebody's feelings, is that you're so succinct and it's so well written, it sounds meditated. Like, it doesn't sound...
You're pumping me up so that everyone drives home tonight going, I don't see what Jeff was seeing in him.
I've seen you if somebody hits you below the knee and your foot flies up, when somebody hits you and you respond, it sounds so good. It sounds abusive, but it wasn't. It was just you reacting. It was just a reflex.
Very good at hurting people. It's as simple as protecting yourself. There's airlocks all around us. You lock somebody, you put a wall between you and them, and then you hit a button, and then you just watch them die. You just stare at them while they turn purple, and you go like, what? I thought you wanted to be near me.
Go see Get Out in theaters. It's a fantastic film.
But yeah, we're looking into all those things, and I think
you have the curse of being good at hurting people's feelings, and it sounds like it's a neutron bomb.
It's not a gift. We watch movies about mafia people and serial killers and things because we're fascinated with that behavior, because it's not a gift, but it is rare because our species is predisposed to compassion. It's weird when somebody's circuits are so fucked up that they could actually hurt somebody so meticulously, so horribly. We focus on it because we don't want it to happen anymore. It's like ribbons and flowers spread at the site at an intersection where a little girl got hit by a car. We go to the point of the pain and we watch it. We look at it and we go, here's where this happened.